Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Week 4 of the high school football season is already upon us. September 17th coming to you guys. Breaking down our rankings here, going into another exciting week of action around the North Bay. Not a ton of changes this week, but a couple big ones we'll get into here in a little bit. But kind of starting off with some of our bubble teams here. Sonoma Valley sticking on the bubble there at 3-0. Beat Justin Siena last week. Exciting game there. First time the Dragons have been 3-0 in over 20 years. Kind of a crazy stat there. And then Ukiah sticking on the bubble as well after a bye week. Cup game this week, hitting the road. Long road trip out to Chico. Chico was the Northern Section D2 runner-up last year. And is off to a 1-2 start this year. So quickly touching on those. Keenan, any notes on the bubble teams at this point? I mean, I think we had Annalee drop out, and I think we had, I forgot who else dropped out. But yeah, there's two teams on our bubble this week.
Yeah, bubble's kind of getting to be more of like an exclusive club, if you will. We're taking the bubble pretty seriously now. Last year we had around 4 or 5 teams each week, but we're putting the hammer down a little bit more this week, and yeah, only 2 teams. But yeah, Sonoma Valley, I mean, continuing to play well, so we'll see if they stay in the bubble.
Yep, good matchup this week against Santa Rosa. I think, yeah, good chance for Sonoma Valley to move to 4-0 this week. So we'll see how that one goes. But jumping into our top 7, coming in at number 7, still at number 7 actually, is Vintage, 2-1, second straight win. They beat Wood 36-21 last week. Went a big early 21-0 after one. Wood made a bit of a comeback in the second half, but the Crushers kind of held on. Best offensive game of the year so far for the Crushers, 336 total yards. They're getting better week by week, and I think they're going to have another good chance to pick up a good win against Bethel this week. So, yeah, Vintage coming in at number 7.
Yeah, Crushers staying, pretty much have been locking down that they have like an ironclad grip on that 7 spot for now. But yeah, we'll see how they finish out their preseason before the very tough Redwood Empire Conference Adobe League play begins.
Yep, definitely gonna need to pick up some wins in the non-league, I think, here going forward for Vintage. So good couple weeks for them. Coming in at number 6, also staying put at number 6 this week is St. Vincent. Winners over Balboa 54-14 on Saturday. So Mustangs are now 2-1 on the year. Have their home opener finally here in week 4 coming up on Saturday, hosting Lowell from San Francisco as well. Good bounce back win from the Mustangs after that tough loss to Truckee. Bit banged up. I think they only dressed something like 19 guys. But I think we talked about preseason how they had some added depth, and that definitely came into play this week. Really strong showing for the Mustangs. Just took care of business, and I think they'll have a good chance to move to 3-1 this week against Lowell. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But St. Vincent coming in at number 6.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the 2 wins they've had, it's what we've expected from the Mustangs, both offensively and defensively. Don't expect that to change this week, especially going to Lowell. I know St. Vincent only has around a handful of home games this year, so they definitely got to make it count when they can. So I expect them to, and expect them to go 3-1 this week.
Absolutely. All right, our first big change of the week coming in here at number 5. You'll remember last week that was Casa Grande. Well, now it is Rancho Cotati dropping down 2 spots from number 3. That exciting game you were at, Keenan. Casa Grande came out winners 34-13 over the Cougars. Kind of a rare loss for the Cougars to Rancho. I mean, first time that Casa has beaten Rancho since 2013, snapped a 6-game losing streak. I know Rancho was a little bit banged up. Their star running back, Gio Martinez, didn't play. Still kind of a tight game at half. And then, Casa was just kind of too much there in the second half. But another awesome game for quarterback Dan Mercado. 5 touchdowns, second straight game with 5 touchdowns for him. Really, really great showing the last couple weeks for Casa. But yeah, I mean, Rancho, closing out non-league play here with, I'd say 2 pretty winnable games. They're playing at Freedom Oakley, who's 0-3 this week, and then I think the week after they have Montgomery heading into Redwood Empire Conference Adobe League play. So a couple winnable games coming up for Rancho, but they slide 2 spots this week to number 5.
Yeah, totally. And I think the main takeaway from that game was the fact that, it was 13-13 at half, and then Rancho kind of collapsed in a way. So I think the biggest key coming into these last 2 non-league games is really can they play the full 4 quarters? Can they finish the full 4 quarters, kind of like they did up against Ukiah in the game you were at, Gus? But tough loss to take. I mean, Casa Grande is no slouch, but as of now they head down to the 5 spot.
Yeah, and we'll kind of keep an eye on that health of Gio Martinez going forward because he is a dynamic playmaker for them. Without him, it's a big loss for them on both sides of the ball. So we'll see. We'll see how he is going forward. Moving up to number 4, American Canyon staying put. Another runaway victory this week. I don't think that was much of a surprise, but 56-20 over Archie Williams. They're now again American Canyon 3-0 on the year. They're off. I mean, speaking of offenses, this is one of the most explosive offenses I'd say in the area. They rushed for nearly 400 yards. Second game, I think they've almost done that. But crazy thing, they had no rushers go over 75 yards. So they had a lot of players get involved. They averaged nearly 12 yards per carry too, which is just again, shows what they're capable of too. So really impressive start for the Wolves. Haven't had a ton of big tests yet, and I don't think they probably will until league play comes. They're playing at Hayward this week. I know Hayward has a bunch of good athletes, but the way American Canyon's playing, I don't think anyone's slowing them down. I mean, they're averaging nearly 500 yards of offense and 46 points per game, to start the year. So American Canyon coming in at number 4, and I could easily see them heading into to league play in a couple weeks, undefeated.
Yeah, totally. I think if any game was to be their quote unquote test at this point, it would be Hayward, Division III opponent. Like you said, solid athletes. But like you said, the way American Canyon's playing, I mean, it's everything head coach Trevor Hudson will want from his guys. It was all about finding putting the pieces in the right place, and it looks like they certainly have. So certainly rewarded up to number 4, and who knows if they keep playing at the way they are, they could maybe take a spot in the top 3. You never know.
Yeah, no, very possible. I mean, especially if they beat our number 3 team at some point during league. Number 3 is coming in at Casa Grande, going to be league mates, obviously, with American Canyon in the RAC Valley Division. Casa probably coming in with the biggest win of the week. Again, like we said, 34-13 over Rancho Cotati. I mean, again, Rancho was a bit banged up, but I'd say Casa the last couple of weeks has been, playing the kind of ball that we kind of thought they would. They came into the year number 3 on our preseason rankings, and they're back to that spot this week. So again, like we said, Danny Mercado, 5 touchdowns, 330 total yards. Just a great showing from Casa, but probably one of the hardest non-league schedules I'd say around, and they're playing their 3rd RAC Adobe team this week already, hosting San Marin on Friday. That should be an awesome game. So we'll see how that one goes. But one more huge non-league test here, and I think this is Casa's last non-league game of the season too. So that's crazy. 3 out of their 4 non-league games are against the RAC Adobe team, so they wanted to challenge themselves, and I'd certainly say they're doing so. So should be a good matchup this Friday here in Petaluma.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Casa's schedule going into the opening week, you never knew how the preseason slate would stack up. Casa could have gone 0-4, 2-2, 1-3, because it's just such a hard slate. But for them to pick up a win against Rancho Cotati, that's huge. Who knows what'll happen against San Marin if Danny Mercado keeps playing the way he is. Brady Lobster really showed out, had a couple of TDs receiving, had his breakout game of this young season. So, who knows with this Gaucho team, man. I think we'll get a lot more answers, like we did against Rancho, but I think we'll get even more answers about this Gaucho team against San Marin.
Yep, playing really well, but again, tests are far from over at this point. So, all right, moving on to number 2. If Casa's win wasn't the biggest of the week, I'd say it was Windsor's staying put at number 2 this week. Went on the road and beat a very good Campolindo team, 33-14. Wasn't even that close, really. It was 26-0 heading into the 4th, and Campo got a couple touchdowns late. But yeah, I mean, Windsor. First big test of the year after kind of rolling through their first 2 wins, and to go on the road and beat a very good Campolino team, which has kind of gotten the better of them, I'd say, the last 2 years. Definitely a big win for them, but they did it really with a kind of different style. Controlled the ball, controlled the pace, ran the crap out of the ball, for lack of a better word. Run heavy offense, defense showed up. It was just a great showing from Windsor, and I know this team was young, and we kind of had some questions about them, but they have again stepped up to the challenge so far this year. So again, not the toughest of preseason schedules. Campo was by far their biggest test. They're at the road this week against 0-3 Dublin. I think they should pick up a win here this week, and then again they have Eureka, I think, the week after. So again, very good chance that Windsor heads into league play at 5-0. Great showing from them this week.
Yeah, Windsor definitely didn't want to tie Campo again, that's for sure. definitely took it to him. And I know you were at that game, and it was a fantastic game. But yeah, Windsor. I mean, this team has been firing on all cylinders early. I know DJ Sexton is very, very high on his guys. So, I don't expect them to slow down in this last game at Dublin, and potentially heading into a league play as well.
Absolutely. And coming in at number one, no surprise here, Cardinal Newman, 3-0 on the year, another blowout win this week, beating down Armio from Fairfield 56-14. Just another kind of offensive and defensive clinic from the Cardinals. They're just absolutely steamrolling this teams right now. I think their average margin of victory is 36 points per game at this point. Again, their closest game was the win last week or 2 weeks ago against Vacaville. That was 28-10, I believe. But I mean, some of the offensive numbers from this one are crazy. 561 total yards, 433 rushing, 200-yard rushers in Jamari Gentry. He had 139 yards on 3 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Oh my gosh!
Couple big breakaway runs, and just, I mean, that was kind of the story of the game, was just tons of explosive plays there for Newman. So, just a very good win for Newman. Again, just handling business, like a good team should. Big test, though, coming up this week against Bishop O'Dowd coming to town. Bishop O'Dowd, another one of these small school Bay Area teams that always punches above its weight class. I know they lost to McClymonds this past week, but McClymonds also, same thing, small school powerhouse in the Bay Area. But yeah, Dragons have been playing, very well this year. They have a very good win over a much larger team in Monte Vista earlier this year. So, I mean, I think I'd probably say, again, outside of Vacaville, this is probably going to be Newman's toughest non-league game, heading into RACW play in a couple weeks here. So could be a tight ball game over there at Newman this week. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Newman just chugging along here at 3-0 and looking easily like the best team, I'd say, here in Sonoma County. And if not, the entire North Bay, with Moraine Catholic being 1-2 so far this year.
Yeah. They beat Casa Grande handily. They beat Vacaville handily. But I think these last 2 non-league games for Newman, obviously you said O'Dowd, but then they have Pleasant Valley out at Chico, who's also a very good team the week after. So we'll see how Newman does. But just the way they're playing, it's very possible that they head into RACW league play convincingly undefeated. No doubt about it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, again, Newman is looking at this point like a legit contender for the NCS, or for a spot in the NCS Open Division playoffs too. So, obviously, league play is going to bring a lot of challenges, again, with San Moraine Catholic, Windsor, Rancho Cotati Vintage. But I think Newman is in a very good position at this point. Again, looking like probably the best team in the North Bay right now to have a good case to make it up to the Open Division. So would be a big achievement for them. So great slate of games coming up this week. Like we said, Newman O'Dowd, Casa San Marin, Ukiah at Chico should be going to, Petaluma Maria Carrillo. Game of the week, we're hitting some small schools this week. We're hitting Healdsburg 3-0. My Greyhounds off their best start in a long time, hosting Montgomery this week. Should be a fun one. Hey, who knows? Healdsburg 4-0 on the bubble. Could be.
See, here
having
we
a
go.
Great year. Greyhounds
here we go.
Year. Greyhounds are having a great year, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out. But should be another fun week of football action here in Sonoma County. So, Keenan, any last thoughts?
Nope. Just for the record, this Healdsburg Monty game of the week was just to please Gus. Okay, that's it. Nothing else.
Hounds deserve it. Perfect. Hounds deserve it. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.
See you guys.